Welcome guys, this is my latest video for CBR POV. It's a Ford Fiesta and it's got some pretty decent damage on the front bumper corner, which has also caught the textured trim. And yeah, I've done a video on that one separately, but I hope you enjoy this. We're going to be covering the bumper corner scuff today, and it's a time lapse, so it's going to be moving pretty quick. I've managed to capture the whole day within a 9-minute video, so here we go. First up is some keying up with some grey Scotch, which is how I always start my repairs. This allows the paint applications to adhere to it from now onwards. Grey Scotch used with some soapy water, wiped off with microfiber. I'm just blasting out all the gaps with the airline. Quick panel wipe, masking off some of the edges now because I'm going to start sanding. So the first stage of the sanding process on this car is 120 grit on the Dash 6 Pro electric sanding orbital. I use this because it really cuts through the damage really well, better than the airline can. Intricate areas are done with the Mini DA, which is on the airline of course. Working away up the grits from 120, 180 to 320. This is just refining anyway that was sanded down and removing the previous stage of the DA marks. The same with the 400. I've dropped onto the airline now because you get a little bit more accuracy with it. So I've just got a little mini polisher polishing up the fade out areas. One on the wing, two on the bumper. So we're already at the masking stage. I'm just masking this area off now, including the alloy wheel tyre area with some brown sheeting. I'm using the paintgear.co.uk masking magnets. These just really help to give you an extra pair of hands really while you're trying to mask up. So I'm just back masking off that edge because I want a nice soft edge. Masking up the grille. At this stage now we're not masking the whole entire project up, we're just masking up the areas for primer. So I've mixed up some 2K primer and I'm spraying that with a Iwata W300 I think. It's a 1.3 tip, so it's normally perfect for applying this kind of primer. So I would have done 2 stages of primer there and then it's been baked for however long the primer takes. This particular one takes about half an hour at 60 degrees. And now I'm just sanding it down with the orbital sanders. I've probably gone on to either 320 grit or maybe 400. Depends how much sanding it needs really, depends how orange peely the finish was when I've sprayed the primer. Usually a good rule of thumb is to go over it with a bit of 320, then 400 and then 800. Especially the edges, make sure they're all feathered in accordingly. Okay, so what I like to do on most jobs is I leave a lot of the masking what I did on the primer stage as it is, so it saves masking up twice. So we masked off the front wing. Obviously we're going to be blending into that with the colour. I think it was magnetic grey. I've painted this colour a few times before. I'd always recommend blending it, especially on my skin, which is the beer solvent. So we're just masking off the whole vehicle now, bagging it off with sheeting. I've fixed it down with masking magnets and some bits of masking tape. And now I'm just cutting around with scissors. Obviously we can start to see the whole repair area where we're about to spray. So at this stage now I'm going to be giving it a really good panel wipe down. I'm just creating a little fade out area there, just with a bit of back masking, and we're going to get ready to apply some paint. So here's the base coat going on. It's 3 layers of solvent base, obviously with flash off times and drying times in between. Now we're applying some clear coat, some clear lacquer. It's 2K lacquer and it's been applied through a GTI Pro Light 1.3. I'm just tacking it off there with a little bit of heat, I'm not drying it. Ready for the second application. A nice heavy coat. A little bit of fade out thinners with a dedicated gun, the LPH 80 1.0 I think it is. Just to flick a bit of thinners on the fade out areas what we're going to polish up where the repair ends. Each area that I've lacquered is dried at 15 minutes at 60 degrees with the heat lamps. You can check this with a thermal thermometer. Once it's dried and cooled, if it's had any little nibs in it or anything that's landed in it, any little bits of debris, or if it's, I don't know, if there's some dry areas or whatever, it's just going to have a wet sand down at this point. It didn't really need it, but I like to do it as a finishing process. I sanded it with 1500 wet and dry paper, then 2000 wet and dry paper, and then it looked like I went over it with Abralon. I don't normally do that, but I had Abralon disc lying in the bucket at the time, which was 2000, I went over with that. Okay, so we're already at the polishing stage now, so I'm using 3M fast cut, just polishing everywhere that's sanded over the whole job. I'm going to carefully polish in them fade out areas, and before you know it, there we are. So obviously that's a full day's work condensed down into a very short video really, but I think it covers all bases. It's really effective if you're interested in smart repair, or if you want to know how people paint outside, or if you want to go into the industry. Things like this weren't available a few years ago. I know a lot of you guys are interested in this, which is why subscribing and following, so I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching my video. I've got loads of content to upload, and yeah, as you can see, it came out really nice. The customer was over the moon with it. It was his son's car. Nice glossy finish, nice paint job. Colour match is good. We've faded it into the front wing. We've done a couple of fade outs, one there. I also did a textured bumper repair, which I've done a separate video on. Just walking around the job. So we did a fade out up in this area here. It's quite tricky to do a good fade out. They don't turn out absolutely perfect every single time, but when you've been doing them for a long time, you do tend to nail them a bit more. I've done a separate video a few months ago now on fade out. That's what it was like before. Pretty cut up from the damage. There's the front wing. Just going to the bumper corner. Nice reflective glossy finish. Trim repair